President Donald Trump delivered great news for Nvidia stock investors with the joint venture that plans to invest up to $500 billion for infrastructure tied to artificial intelligence. I'm going to discuss the details of this announcement and what it could mean for Nvidia stock investors. Let's get started.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so President Donald Trump on Tuesday talked up a joint venture investing up to $500 billion for infrastructure tied to artificial intelligence by a new partnership formed by OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, I should say. The new entity, Stargate, will start building out data centers and the electricity generation needed for further development of the fast-evolving AI industry. The initial investment is expected to be $100 billion and could reach 5 times that sum. Okay, so that's the announcement. What does it mean? Let's take it one step at a time. First of all, the headline number, $500 billion, very unlikely that this investment reaches anywhere near that point. The companies, institutions that make these announcements, they love to have that big headline numbers because it develops interest, it develops buzz, and it develops discussion like we're having right here. I'm making this video because the number is so large, it cannot be ignored. However, in most cases, the announcement and the actual results end up being widely different. The initial investment is expected to be $100 billion and could reach 5 times that sum. It's very likely that the actual investment is much smaller than that because you see these numbers are expected to be, could be, up to, right? So they protect themselves in the case that the numbers don't reach that level, but they still get to make that big splashy investment that grabs headlines, that gets credit. So that's the first thing to remember. Still, even if the numbers are going to be much smaller than announced here, it's still great news for Nvidia and Nvidia stock investors, as the bulk of the money that goes into these data centers optimized for artificial intelligence goes to Nvidia. The large chunk of that money goes to Nvidia because Nvidia is at the heart of these data centers optimized for AI. Nvidia's GPUs and supporting technology, the ecosystem, the software is what attracts all of that investment. It's what makes this possible. Without that, combined with the large language models that have come to add great value to businesses and institutions and individuals, that's what creates this demand to create these data centers. So let's get more specific to Nvidia. In its latest quarter, Nvidia reported $31 billion in revenue from the data center segment, and that was up by 112% year over year. Nvidia has delivered these kinds of numbers in the data center segment. It's been going on 8 quarters now, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. And this revenue has surged so much that investors, their most obvious concern with Nvidia stock is that there's going to be a big drop off in this spending in data center, how it's maybe just a temporary thing, how it's just going to end really soon. And I've been talking about this for 2, 3, 4 years now. Well, I should say 2 years, about the AI segment specifically, how it's not a temporary thing. It's not a temporary thing because I continue to see announcements like the one I just talked about in the beginning of the video of companies and institutions announcing big investments in these categories. And these come from this announcement here from President Trump and the joint venture. It's come from companies like Alphabet, Amazon, Meta Platforms, etc., that are investing in these data centers optimized for AI. And not only are they spending a lot of money this year, and not only did they spend a lot of money last year, but they also told everyone that they're going to spend even more next year and even more the year after that. So they continue to forecast and continue to buy ahead of time these products from Nvidia to build these data centers optimized for AI. And this is transforming a industry, a data center industry, that's worth roughly $1 trillion. And so what you've seen in the last 2 years is an update to that $1 trillion infrastructure, the data center infrastructure, that's becoming more and more obsolete. And so enterprises and institutions need to update that. That's $1 trillion worth of updates. And we've only scratched the surface in the last 2 years. That's what Nvidia has been telling investors. That's what Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta Platforms, all of these companies that deal with these data centers optimized for AI, that's what they've been telling us, is that, look, there's this old infrastructure that's becoming more and more obsolete every day. It costs more to just maintain that old infrastructure than it would to just build this new data center optimized for AI, because you can get either the same performance but at a lower cost. If you don't want a better performance, better computing performance, you just want the same performance as you had before, well, you can have that now at a lower cost to operate. And so, of course, you're interested in updating your infrastructure if you're going to spend $1 million and it's going to save you $2 million, right? Or if you're a company like OpenAI and you crave that performance, that's what really enables your technology to improve, is that improving computing power, then you want that latest and greatest. Then so you want to update to the latest generation technology, which, by the way, Nvidia is updating every year now. They're giving you a big upgrade in technology. So that's why I say these older data centers optimized for different generation types of computing are becoming obsolete more and more every day. So great news for Nvidia stock investors, even though the actual numbers are going to be much lower than what was announced. And I repeat that because you're going to see this, and if you're new to investing, and this is one of the first announcements you see, I want you to start training your mind to be skeptical of these big numbers. If you're more experienced, you're probably already used to this type of thing where a company announces something really big and large number and they actually deliver something much smaller than that. So I want you to take the same mindset with this announcement here. $500 billion, the headline number. I wouldn't be surprised if the actual investment never goes past $100 billion. But even at that's an incremental $100 billion of spending, which a big percentage of will go towards NVIDIA's GPUs and supporting technology. So great news to be sure for NVIDIA stock investors and others as well. But this video, I just focused primarily on how it's going to help NVIDIA and NVIDIA stock investors.
Hey everyone, if you like watching my videos, then I've added a great complimentary product just for you. I've written a book that's available for sale now that highlights my 6-step investing framework. Even if you don't follow that investing framework, just reading it and knowing how I evaluate stocks will make it a lot more interesting and informative to watch my videos. I've added the link in the description below.